All right, y'all. Here we go. Shalawama, Islam to all the Moors. Give me a moment. Let me check the signal and we'll get started. This is the gospel and the zodiac. Number 6. This is the 6th part of Aquarius weather. Number 6 of Aquarius. All right. Here we go. Number 6 of Aquarius. In one moment, let me check the signal. Let me check the sound, y'all. One moment. All right. All right. So we're good. So listen, let's begin. Y'all make sure y'all like and share the video, please. Like and share the video. If you stay longer than 5 minutes, I'm asking you to, wait, hold on. Give me one moment. If you, oh, okay, all right. If you stay longer than 5 minutes, I'm asking you to like the video and subscribe. Okay, that's if you stay more than 5 minutes. If you're not going to stay more than 5 minutes, give me a second, y'all. I'm making sure that you'll be able to comment and your comments won't disappear, or at least I'm doing what I can do if it allows me to do it. All right, y'all. So if you stay, make sure you like the video. If you stay longer than 5 minutes, make sure you like the video. All right. If you're not going to stay, or if you decide to leave after 5 minutes, or if you decide you don't like it, please leave. Okay. It makes it better, better for this video to get circulated. All right. To get distributed. So leave. It helps the algorithm. Leave. But if you stay, like the video, if you really like it, subscribe to the channel. It will help get the information out. All right. Y'all know YouTube shadow bans this channel. So share the video if you're here more than 5 minutes too. That's all I ask of you. Help with the distribution. All right. Now, y'all should remember, let me get the camera right. Y'all should remember that Consul General Lamont Maurice L. is still being held against his will, kidnapped in captivity. So go to the website, enforcetheconstitution.org, enforcetheconstitution.org, and you can get updated on what's happening with him. And whatever they're asking everyone to do, could you please do it? And share this information. If you have a YouTube channel, do the same thing I'm doing right now. Give a public service announcement about Consul General Lamont Maurice L. and ask everyone to go to enforcetheconstitution.org. And whatever they have on the website that they're requesting everyone to do, please ask your audience to do the same thing, okay? If you don't have a YouTube channel, if you have any social media channel, do the same thing, post something, okay? All right, so let's do what we can to help ourselves. Let's begin. So today we are on page 196. Page 196. Second paragraph. Second paragraph. However, since the Jerusalem temple was destroyed by the Romans in 70 CE, it is possible that at least the first part of Mark chapter 13, verse 1 through 23 reflects the situation immediately preceding this event, and that warns in these verses and the mention of the abomination which causes desolation, thought by scholars to be the Roman standards in the temple precincts, okay? Refer to actual historical events in addition to any other reference they may have. Whatever the truth is, the author is saying that he doesn't know if these things are historical events or not. So whatever the truth is, there is no doubt that Mark has put it in the right place, because while the imagery is apocalyptic and therefore conventionally Jewish, okay, so Mark chapter 13, 1 through 23, 14, let me repeat that. Mark chapter 13, verse 1 through chapter 14, verse 16 is apocalyptic. The imagery is apocalyptic, and this comes from Jewish religious tradition, all right? While the imagery is apocalyptic and therefore conventionally Jewish, it is woven together with the zodiacal references, which are entirely Aquarian. Y'all got that? It is woven together. What does it mean, woven together? Well, if something is woven together, that means that it is what? Imagine stitches. For example, this material is woven together, okay? And it's bound by what? These stitches, okay? Woven together. In medicine, we say sutures. That's what's holding the whole thing together. That's what's meant by that. So the zodiac, specifically Aquarius, is what's holding together this whole apocalyptic imaginary stuff that many of you, or most of you guys, scholars, think is real history, all right? All of that is held together by the zodiac, specifically Aquarius. Now, let's go deeper into this. Y'all go back and watch the video that I did with Sonetta. What is it called? Let me show it. It's on my homepage on this YouTube channel, Zion Law School on YouTube. Let me show you. Go back and watch this video. All right. So here it is, the homepage. Well, go to home. You should see a video. Whoa. You should see the video I did with Sonetta on the homepage. I don't know why I don't see it here. Oh, well, let me try it this way. I don't know why I don't see it, y'all. But there's a video that I did with Sonetta. Let me try it a different way. You need to watch this because this is what's, that's weird. All right, maybe it's like this because I'm doing a live stream. I have no idea. Let me make sure y'all can see my screen first. Oh, y'all don't even see my screen. All right. So let me try to show you guys this way. Give me one moment. One moment, please. You need to watch this video I did with Sonetta because in the video, I'm dealing with this issue that we're talking about right now. Whether or not Mark chapter 13 is true. And I can tell you for a fact that it's not true. There never was a second temple. Second temple was never built. All right, y'all, the second temple was never built. And it would have been impossible to build it. It would have been impossible to build it. Let me Google search. I can't find it on my own channel. Give me 1 second. All right, here it is. So take a look at this, y'all. Can y'all see that? Let me see. Can y'all see this? This is on the homepage of my YouTube channel, Zion Law School. Watch this video. It's going to give you all the evidence that you need. All right? All the evidence that you need to show that no second temple was ever built. This is the title. All right? There it is. Watch this video. Okay, so let's get into it. One moment. All right. So that being the case, since there never was a second temple built, according to the author's own logic, nothing in Mark chapter 13 ever happened. Nothing in Mark chapter 13 never happened. Why? Because when you watch that video, you'll see that a second temple never was built. All right? You'll see that that second temple was never built. So let's go back to page 196. The Jewish ideas spring from the concept of the day of the Lord. The day of the Lord. That's where the apocalyptic idea comes from. That's its origin, according to Judaism, the day of the Lord. A time in the future when, capital G-O-D, would intervene dramatically in world history and act as a champion of Israel. Whenever this is referred to in the Old Testament, the imagery is invariably cosmic, catastrophic, and bloody. Joel's description, quoted in The Forgotten Language of the Stars, is a classic example of this kind of writing for the Jewish people, for the Jewish religion, Jewish doctrine. For the Jewish people, history was divided into two periods: a time of anguish and strife, followed by a time of peace, when Isaiah's vision would become a reality. So here's Isaiah's vision. They will beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation will not rise up. Let me repeat that. Nation will not take up sword against nation, nor will they train for war anymore. That's Isaiah chapter 2, verse 4. Now, what's the problem with this? Let me take you back. Now, remember, we're on page 196, 196. The Jewish ideas. First, we're talking about religious doctrine, not a bloodline of people and their history. The Jewish ideas spring from the concept, the Jewish doctrine, or originate in the concept of the day of the Lord. A time in the future when the deity, capital G-O-D, there's no capital G in ancient Ibaryath. Ancient Ibaryath is sometimes referred to as Paleo Hebrew, ancient Hebrew. All right? Let's continue. There's no capitals. All right? So you're getting taken for a ride here with this capital G. There's a whole lot that you don't know about this capital G-O-D. All right? You need to study it. Day of the Lord, a time in the future when capital God, when the tetragrammaton, when Zeus, with I Zeus, when JC the Christ figure, when Odin, Woden would intervene dramatically. That would also be Baal, Baali. Would it be Thor also? Would intervene dramatically in world history and act as a champion of Israel. Now, this is definitely doctrine, because the only way out of the curses, according to the contract, not doctrine, the only way out of the punishments, the only way out of being hit with these bills of attainder is for you to return to nature. Returning to nature means following natural law. To follow natural law means what? It means keep the Most High's commandments. Exodus chapter 20, plain and simple. All right? Plain and simple. Okay? Exodus chapter 20. Major points of that. Look inside. Look inside. This is Exodus chapter 20, verse 1. No external deities. Chapter 20, verse 12. Honor your ancient foremothers and forefathers. That means follow the law. What law? Natural law. Period. To not do so is to do what? Corrupt the blood of the covenant. The covenant was sealed with blood, fresh blood, not old blood, not coagulated blood. Coagulated blood serves no purpose. In fact, when blood coagulates, if it coagulates inside of you, it can kill you. How? Well, it's called a blood clot, right? A blood clot can kill you. And y'all been hearing about blood clots in the news, haven't you? Related to the jab. Fresh blood can keep you alive, even if it comes from someone else, as long as it's a close enough match. Y'all got it? So the corruption of the blood of the contract, the corruption of the blood that sealed the contract. When you're not following law, natural law, you are corrupting the blood of the covenant that sealed the contract. I hope that's clear. That's the only way out. The only way out is to return to nature. And that should make totally perfect sense to you guys. That should be clear to even a child, right? Even a child. Now you see demonstrations of it everywhere. People harness power and energy and use it as electricity. But if you use it wrongly, electricity can do what? It can kill you. Why? Well, you didn't follow the natural law associated with electricity. Y'all got it? What about water? We need water. We need water to live. But if you go jump in the lake, even if you're a good swimmer and the current catches you, what's going to happen to you? Well, very likely that you're going to be pulled out under and you're going to lose your life. Why? Because you went against natural law. Water is to drink. We're not built to go 100 feet under the water. We're not built to go into the ocean with its currents. No, they'll sweep you away. You won't be able to tell what's up and what's down, right? Unless you've had some kind of training and you know if you let the air out, the bubbles are going to go upward, then you go upward. But there's a whole lot to it. Most likely you're going to perish. Why? Because you didn't follow natural law. Y'all make sure y'all tune into the natural law videos. I'm going to start it maybe today, start them back up today or tomorrow, trying to get myself back on track. But anyway, I hope y'all see what I'm saying. The bloodline people, the Moors, we deal with principle, nature, natural law. Okay? That's how we live. That's what we practice. That's how we think. That's what we speak. We speak nature. We speak nature. To speak anything other than nature, you're breaking or corrupting the blood that sealed the contract or the covenant. You're a lawbreaker. To speak connotative linguistics, you are a lawbreaker. To be in a dead status. Y'all got it? Jewish religious doctrine teaches that, according to this author, teaches that Israel will be saved by its deity acting as a champion in the day of the Lord, right? So when the deity says, I've had enough, it's time, regardless of what the people are doing, regardless of what they're doing, the deity one day is going to say, okay, I had enough. Let's put a stop to this. It's the day of the Lord. Let's smash the nations. You see the contrast. You see the difference. Now, the return based upon the law as given to Moses, you'll find it in Deuteronomy chapter 30. Chapter 30, verse 1 through 3, but you may as well read the whole chapter. That's where you'll find it. So make the distinction. Know the difference, okay? Know the difference. The contract says absolutely nothing about a day of the Lord or an apocalyptic ending or end time prophecy. It is not there. Go back and read it. All right, go back and read it. The point of division between these two periods, that's the two periods according to Jewish doctrine, which is the time of anguish and strife, and then the time of peace, quoting from Isaiah 2:4, when the nations will learn war no more. Let's pick back up on the paragraph, last paragraph on the page 196. The point of division between these two periods would be the day of the Lord. What is a point of division? What is the day of division? Well, here's an example. Some of you college students may be aware of this. Fresh water in rivers flow, draining the land. They all flow into what? A bigger body of water. Let's say an ocean, right? So here's the ocean. Here's the sea. I'm sorry, here's the ocean or the sea. And here's water flowing into the sea. There's a division here where fresh water is meeting salt water. Y'all got that? There's a division. Fresh water meeting salt water. Brine. A division. So there's a time of anguish and pain and a division or transitional period of peace. So there's Capricorn, the building up of corporations, the Catholic Church, its nation states, its armies, its industries, these corporate entities that oppress and rob you of your birthright through bills of attainder. I hope y'all remember bills of attainder. And corruption of blood. And they rob you. According to the author in Capricorn, it reaches its climax. And then here's Aquarius, the other wintry month. Capricorn follows Aquarius, December, January. Okay. Aquarius, what's going to happen? These corporations are going to be destroyed. They're going to be destroyed, right? During Aquarius. And the pressure, the pain, the agony, the strife, the hardship. I'm reviewing what we went through already. I hope y'all know that. If you've been here, you should know I'm reviewing. The agony, the torture, the trauma. At the climax of Capricorn takes us into Aquarius. Now, Aquarius, once you're into Aquarius, the state of mind or the mindset of the people has become nationalistic, group-oriented, nationalism. Okay, maybe you're going to follow the law of your land. Community organization, group economics. Why? Because during that transitional phase, the climax of the corporations entering into January, into Aquarius, they begin to crumble. The corporations begin to crumble. You ain't got that welfare no more. You ain't got that SSI no more. You ain't got that job no more. You ain't got no Federal Reserve notes. You ain't got nothing coming in. And you start to realize you need people. And the pressure and the trauma starts to force you to change your behavior. You're still that dirty SOB, or you're still the very good, kind person. But you're going through trauma. You're still that self-centered, egotistical, me only, me first, narcissist. But as they put the screws to you, as your environment starts to work on you, as you start seeing people die, as you start seeing more and more suffering, and you personally suffer, your little ones die, your kinfolk die and suffer. Now, you're in that transitional point that the author is talking about. That's the transition. Okay, now you got beat up. Your will has been broken. And now you say, okay, I'm going to go with the flow. I need to change. And you accept out of submission. You accept a changed mindset. Now you need the group. You need the group, and you realize you cannot survive without it. And you have practiced a lifestyle now long enough of sharing, looking out for other people, doing for other people other than yourself so that you can be okay. Now you've developed the habit and the mindset of nationalism, of group economics, because you're forced to. All right, so I hope you can see that division or that transit, that state that the author is talking about. The point of division, which I just demonstrated by example, the point of division between these two periods, the time of anguish and strife, and peace, according to Jewish doctrine, will be the day of the Lord, the approach of which would be signaled by a variety of disasters, of which we spoke, the trauma, right? And by the coming of the Messiah. Now, this is an external Messiah, not the Christian Messiah. That's not who they're talking about, not the Messiah of the Bible, of the Gospels. Let's continue. Mark's Gospel reflects this notion faithfully. Y'all got that? So Mark's Gospel is pushing Jewish doctrine. DrYasapa didn't say it. This author says it. Okay? Let me ask you. If Mark is pushing Jewish doctrine, the outcome of which should be what? It should be consistent with Jewish doctrine. How is it then that it changes? It completely changes to what we now know as Christian. Think, scholars, think. Mark's Gospels reflects this notion faithfully. Before the quote unquote end occurs, we are told that, and this is coming from Mark chapter 13, verse 24 and 25. So y'all Christians and Hebrew Israelite Christians and New Testament Bible thumpers, read it. In those days, following that distress, what distress? The anguish and the strife occurring during the transitional period between Capricorn and Aquarius. In those days, following the distress, the sun will be darkened. S-U-N, sun will be darkened. Now, that's the orb, the disk in the sky will be darkened. Now, think about this scientifically. If the sun in the sky is darkened, it can only occur in a few ways. One of which, whatever that energy, that mechanism is that causes it to be bright, is no longer there. Now, if it's no longer there, is it still producing its heat? I don't know. Never happened. I've never seen it happen. But let's say it doesn't produce its heat. Okay, the sun doesn't look yellowish anymore. It's black. Will we feel heat on Earth? Well, if we don't feel heat on Earth, what's going to happen? How many days or weeks can you live with no heat from that sun? How many days can you make it? How many weeks can you make it in the cold? What are you going to eat? Let's say the animals start to die. Okay, well, DrYasapa, if the animals start to die, they're going to be frozen, right? So we can just pick them up. They're already frozen, cook them up, right? Or if you like your meat raw, you just eat them like that. Okay, all right, well, okay, you can do that. We'll do that, but at what point will you run out of animals? Because let's say some animals are still living, they're going to need to eat too, right? And if the animals are still living, they see better in the dark than you do. So maybe you'll be dinner for them. How long can life last without the sun shining its energy? Okay, now do you guys see why JC is called the risen Savior? The risen Savior. Why? Because when the S-U-N, sun, S-O-N in German and Dutch, when it rises, it brings its heat into the world. And then that heat facilitates the sustenance of life. Without it, people will die off pretty quickly. Everything will die off pretty quickly. Freeze, right? It will freeze. Or is somehow or another the sun's yellowish color hidden from our eyes, but its energy still comes to the earth? Who knows? We're just guessing, right? We're just imagining. What else can happen? Everybody's eyes can be forbidden to see the sun. So the sun is still there, but you just can't see it, so it looks black. Right? But if that happens, well, the sun is really not blackened, is it? Your eyes just aren't able to see it. The sun is still its yellow color. So now you got a problem there. So scientifically, this don't make any sense, does it? To have the sun darkened. But anyway, let's continue. In those days following that distress, the sun will be darkened and the moon will not give its light. The stars will fall from the sky. Well, now, if that literally happens, what's going to happen energetically? For someone to say, well, the stars don't have anything to do with what happens on the earth. Well, that's not true, right? Heavenly bodies do. A good example is the moon. It's not a star, it's a moon. But in science, in modern science, the moon controls everybody's heart rate, controls when we sleep, circadian rhythm, okay? It controls women's menstruation, when it occurs, the menstruation. Y'all got me? So what if it says, like it says here, the stars will fall from the sky? Let's say stars start falling and they collide. Will they produce asteroids? Black holes? What's going to be the effect on Earth if this really happens? And if there's new black holes and asteroids, are they going to hit the Earth? Is the Earth going to be sucked into a black hole? I mean, you can go on and on with all kinds of imaginations when you look at this literally. The stars will fall from the sky, and the heavenly bodies, that's the sun and the moon, will be shaken. Oh, what will happen if the moon starts to shake? What's going to happen on Earth? If the sun starts to shake, what's going to be the energetic impact on the Earth? That means, y'all listen, that means that they're out of their orbit. All right? They're out of their orbit. What is this going to do to the seasons? What is it going to do to the ocean level? Are huge areas of land going to be flooded? I mean, you can go on and on and on with imaginations about this stuff. This is according to religion. All right? Doctrine. Because remember, the author tells us, in his opinion, based upon his historical analysis, none of this is true, except for possibly the temple, the second temple stuff, which we know is not true, because we know that that's actually a Roman fort, right? It's actually a Roman fort. And then more importantly than that, we know that there was no second temple built in the first place. It was impossible. And that land over there is not our land. Watch the video I did with Sanetta. All Abrahamic religions are a fraud, and you'll see this beyond any doubt, clearly. Page 197. Mixed with this conventional Jewish imagery, however, are astrological concepts which involve not one time of cosmic upheaval. So we discussed the cosmic upheaval already, right? That's what I talked about, the imagination. But a series of cosmic upheavals. As explained in the forgotten language of the stars, the ancient world believed that when the equinoctial point moved from one constellation of the zodiac to another, a new age was born. So we're going, for example, we're leaving the age of Pisces, and we're going into the age of Aquarius. So there's a division, right? There's the end of Aquarius, a clear line here. Beginning of Aquarius. So here you see a division, right? This is the division that I talked about earlier. This is the division, the brine, okay? This is the beat down, the trauma that will occur, right? And between my palm, the trauma that will occur that will give you an adjustment. It'll give you a mental adjustment. Make you leave that narcissistic, greedy, selfish, manipulative, egotistical mindset. I got mine, you get yours. It'll force you out of that so that in Aquarius, you have the mindset of nationalism, group economics, community orientation, neighborhood orientation. My health and wealth depends on you having enough or even more health and wealth. Y'all got it? I hope it's clear. Okay, so let's continue. The author continues, this was not just a pagan belief, but the story of Abraham and the story of the Exodus showed this type of thinking was not foreign to the Jews. All right, so ain't nothing new to the Jews, this astronomical stuff or astrological stuff. Mark was living at a time when the equinox, y'all, is March, occurring between March 19th, 20, 21, maybe 22 every year, all right? When the equinox was about to move from Aries to Pisces. So Mark lived when the zodiac age changed from Aries. So Mark was alive in Aries and it was changing or entering into Pisces. Mark was living at a time when the equinox was about to move from Aries to Pisces, from the ram to the fish. That's why they blow, the Jewish people blow the ram's horn. Okay, they blow the ram's horn. Okay, from the ram to the fish. With all the attendant calamities that such a dramatic change in human consciousness was expected to bring. All right, so all of y'all who are blowing that shofar, you're blowing the shofar, well, you're acknowledging the zodiac sign Aries, the ram. All right, and the fish is Pisces, right? JC was a fisherman. Christianity is represented by two fish. The Pope, a certain Hebrew Israelite group, they wear what? A meat tree, a meat tree. The fish, okay? They garnish their head, or their headdress is a meat tree or a fish. It's a fish. Pisces, also what? Dogon, the half fish, half man deity, mermaids, etc. All right, hope y'all got it. Let's continue. Where are we? I lost my spot. All right, let me check the time, y'all. Hold on. I'm going to end it here. Y'all make sure that you guys go to enforcetheconstitution.org. Sign up to their newsletter. Whatever they're asking everyone to do, please do it. Also, if you have a social media channel, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, give this public awareness announcement, same way I'm doing. Consul General Lamont Maurice L. Is still held against his will in captivity. He's been kidnapped, as you all know. So let's do this public service announcement so that everybody can do this. Hopefully it will help to get him released, free. All right, y'all? He's been held as a political prisoner. Enforce the Constitution, ORG. Go to their website. Do whatever it is that they're asking you to do. Make sure that you support our project to rewrite correctly, accurately, the book of the law into Ibaryath and English so that you can see what these documents actually say. I can show you bills of attainder. I can show you estate and trust law concepts, words, everything will be there. Jeremiah 8:8 occurrences will be taken out. Mythology will be taken out. I cannot do it on my own. I need the support of the people. Okay? I need your support. All right? It's a big project and it's going to cost a lot of fiat to do it. All right? So send in your donations, gifts, or anything else to fund that project. We need our own documents, and it's an embarrassment, a humiliation, a shame that we're still using our oppressors, our enemies' documents. If you've got any kind of self-respect, help us out with producing, publishing, and distributing our own book of the law in our own language. Ancient Ibaryath, some of y'all call it Paleo Hebrew or Ancient Paleo Hebrew, whatever you call it. The Cash App and PayPal links are in the description area of this video. If for whatever reason you don't want to send a gift or a donation, you can buy our books. I have about 7 or 8, maybe 7 books that I've written. The links are in the description area of the video. Do not buy them on Amazon. Go to zionlawschool.org, zionlawschool.org, and place your order there. Okay, place it there. Amazon takes way too much money. It's not even worth selling your books on Amazon. It's not worth it. They take too much. Okay. Or you can subscribe to our online streaming course, 101 Ancient Ibaryath. This is going to teach you the fundamentals about Ancient Ibaryath. It's in-depth. It's a great course. You don't need any previous Ancient Ibaryath learning or training. You get in where you fit in. You just dive right into the deep, okay? Everything is in that video. It's 113 videos. So you can support any of those. You have many, many options. Donation through PayPal, Cash App. I prefer Cash App, or buy our products, books, or the streaming course, 101 Ancient Ibaryath, okay? And I can continue to do this, but also begin the production of our own book of the law. Imagine how good you're going to feel when that book has been produced, especially if you help with the financing of it. I can't do it on my own. It's a big job. I'm gonna have to pay people to do certain things. Buy equipment is not something I can do in a year or a couple months or even 2. It takes time. All right, y'all? So stand with me, stand behind me, stand on the side of me, whatever you want to do, wherever you want to stand. Let's get this book produced and distributed. Islam to the Moors. I'm Dr. Yasapa. I want to say thank you in advance for your support, whatever form it takes.